What is going on, you guys? Major Dragon here, and today is a very important announcement. It is Christmas time. This means brand new Major Dragon merch is now out. Go check it out down below, and make sure to get yourself some Major Dragon merch to give to your friends and family down below. Anyway, thank y'all for the support. Go check it out, and I'll talk to you all in the next video. Make sure to check out my Patreon for exclusive videos never before seen on YouTube. And don't forget to also check out the memberships on my channel page to join and gain access to perks and see videos early. Make sure to click the subscribe button and hit the bell and be notified of new videos. All the support goes to the production of the channel for better content. Now let's get into the video. Real quick before the video starts, I want to thank all of you guys so much for the birthday wishes. It means a lot. I hope you guys were able to turn into the stream yesterday. If you did not, you guys missed out on it, but thank you all so much for the amazing comments even afterwards. I really do appreciate it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this new series. Make sure to like the video, subscribe, and let's continue on. What if Goku was born as Gogeta? Now this what if can take a lot of turns as you guys have voted. So I have decided to start off by first clarifying some things real quick. Should Vegeta be born, or should he not? Considering the fact that Gogeta is the fusion of Goku and Vegeta. So if Goku is born as Gogeta, would Vegeta technically be born? I think for what if purposes, I'm gonna say that Vegeta will still be born. Goku here will be born as Gogeta. He will have the look, the clothing, and of course the power of both Goku and Vegeta combined. This is going to be a very interesting what if, considering the fact that it's very outlandish, as something like this could never happen. One what if possibility you could say is that there was a glitch with the Supreme Kai of Time, and it was able to kind of throw Gogeta, but he was an infant, into Goku's life. That could be the only kind of infinite possibilities of how this could even happen. Or this could be one of the alternate realities of the infinite timelines that possess the Supreme Kai of Time, to where Gogeta was born instead of Goku. It's very possible. Very similar to how Frieza was born on planet Vegeta rather than Goku. But let's continue. On planet Vegeta, Gogeta was born instead of Son Goku. Now, we haven't officially confirmed the multiplier for a fusion dance, let alone what would their power be combined. We know that Vegeta has a power level of 600 when he was born. Goku had a power level of 1 to 2, so his power level is non-consistent. But of course, putting them together, we can argue that the fusion could be anywhere from a 10 times boost to a base power level, or it could be X times X equal the fusion times that. So if you have Goku and Vegeta, who has a power level of 5 each, they fuse into Gogeta, that's 5 plus 5 equals 10, times whatever the fusion multiplier is. It could be 10, it could be 100, it could be 1,000, it could be whatever consistence that you want it to be. I believe it's roughly 100 times more powerful. So, with Goku being born, having a power level of 602, this would mean that Goku's actual power level, and not Gogeta, of course, with now Gogeta being born instead, would have a power level of 60,200. As an infant, this makes him 6 times stronger than Broly when he was a baby in Dragon Ball Z. This makes Goku stronger than Jace, Birder, Raccoon, and others, which is already absurd. I believe that when the Saiyans try scanning his power level, it would of course go off as blank, as the power scouters cannot go that high, as they would break going up to 30,000, and even if they did try reading it, it would show an odd number. Now of course, King Vegeta would see this, or figure it out about it, and he would want this child exiled. Having this child exiled, they would then pick a random planet, as you can argue that this is Bardock and Jine's child, as he is taking over Goku's role. Bardock knows of his son's true power, and how terrifying it is that he's already stronger than him as a baby. The fact that, of course, they would then send Gogeta off into a space pod, barely escaping the planet's fate, as Frieza would then completely obliterate it. This, of course, is going to change the entire story of Dragon Ball very quickly. With baby Gogeta landing on Earth, few things are going to change. With a power level that high, the child has a power level of over 60,000, but it doesn't know how to use that power, of course, so it would be a very much lower level. But even still, Grandpa Gohan would definitely have his hands full raising this baby. And once when Gogeta would then fall and hit his head, it wouldn't actually change much because he was so powerful that it wouldn't actually hurt him. So the bump on the head would never really happen. I do still believe that Gogeta would still be a perfect blend between Goku and Vegeta, so he would be calm and a perfect warrior as they're both yin and yang going together. Once when Gogeta grows up, he would still become a great ape, and by plot-induced reasons, he would not completely destroy planet Earth. This means that he would meet Bulma sooner or later after sadly killing Grandpa Gohan a few years before. This 10 to 12-year-old boy would be incredibly powerful. Vegeta, at the age of 12 years old or older, had a power level of around 12,000. Goku had a power level of around 10, so you can really throw his power level in there. Now, of course, if you do 12,000 times 100, this version of Baby Gogeta is 1.2 million, theoretically, is what it would actually be, which is terrifying. But this is his hidden power, and he doesn't know how to access this strength. So that is the reason why he cannot use it. But in terms of his power level, he's still incredibly strong. His power level is in the 500s, to when he gets angry and really pushed, it could go up to over 1,000. Which is nothing compared to 1.2 million. But consider the fact, everybody, that he does not know how to control ki, or how to use anything just yet. He has to grow into his adult age to really become powerful. Considering the fact that his power level is 500 or higher, he would easily defeat anybody in his way. Oolong, Yamcha would be defeated easily. Of course, they would also meet Master Roshi, who Gogeta would be able to easily overpower in their fight, but Master Roshi, I believe, would still be able to win. Okay, hear me out. Master Roshi has shown to fight beings that are far above him in strength, but with his pure skill, he's able to overcome them. Gogeta's an amateur when it comes to fighting. He learned basic martial arts from Grandpa Gohan, but Master Roshi taught him. He knows everything. Master Roshi would be able to dodge Gogeta's attacks, and after giving a full power Kamehameha wave hitting Gogeta, it would kind of knock him back a little bit, but not do too much. Master Roshi can see the boy's strength, and he will help teach him to grow even more powerful than ever before. What is Gogeta's goal? Gogeta's here to become as strong as he can possibly be, and he wants to be number one. He has the mixture of Vegeta and Goku, as he wants to fight to protect people and do the right thing, but he wants to become the strongest Saiyan that's ever been. He wants to become the strongest fighter in the universe. Now, of course, with Vegeta still being alive, technically, this version of Vegeta would still be around the universe somewhere, scrounging planets as usual. Gogeta would continue to grow more in power, getting stronger and stronger with his friends, training alongside Krillin, who was not even able to keep up at all, but Krillin tried his best and they would become best friends. Gogeta would very quickly start to adapt more to his power using the Turtle Hermit training, as even with the heaviest shells, he would continue to easily pass them. Goku was able to learn techniques within a few short moments. Imagine him with Vegeta, who when he actually trains correctly, is terrifyingly OP, but of course he's nerfed in the show. Gogeta would continue to train until Master Roshi cannot teach him no more, and of course with the Red Ribbon Army, Gogeta would destroy the entire Red Ribbon Army, leaving nothing behind. This means that there's no Dr. Gero, which means there would be no androids or no Cell. Master Roshi would be delighted, but then also tell Gogeta about the fact that, well, we got the Dragon Balls, now what do you want to do? Now, as we know, the Dragon Balls were used to give Oolong a nice prize, as it was kind of wasted. Bulma was not able to wish her perfect boyfriend. So, because of this, going to Gogeta would then go to train under Kami. Kami would then sense that this being appears to be a blend of some kind, but he can't pick his finger on it. Kami, alongside with Popo and Master Corrin, would all team up and teach Gogeta all that they know. Kami's goal is to try and make Gogeta the god of Earth, to protect Earth against anything that'll happen. But Gogeta doesn't believe in that. He doesn't want to be a god of Earth. He just wants to fight strong guys. But he'll make sure to protect it if so need be. As the years would then pass, Gogeta will continue to grow stronger and also grow with age. We are going to skip over the Demon King Piccolo arc, as, pointing out, the first time that Gogeta would even meet Demon King Piccolo, when he was old, he would easily defeat him within a few blows of their attack. So Demon King Piccolo has no chance against this version of Gogeta here. With Gogeta training with Kami and Korin and Popo for the rest of the few years, after the World Tournament would then appear when everybody was an adult, Gogeta would then appear, as this version of Gogeta would have easily defeated Tien, and sadly, since there was no Piccolo Jr., Kami passed away. You know what this means? There's no Dragon Balls on planet Earth. But we will get into this later. With the fact that there's no Piccolo in the show, there's no Piccolo Jr., no Demon King Piccolo, and Kami would die, because Kami would never tell Goku about killing Demon King Piccolo, would then kill him, as Gogeta never knew this. So, after he knew, it was too late. The Dragon Balls were completely destroyed, and there was nothing that they could do. But maybe it was better off to not have that, as that's a dangerous power for anybody to have. As considering the fact, the Piccolo Jr. arc would never happen, as there's no Piccolo Jr., the main antagonist would be Tien, who's want to still swear revenge against Gogeta. Tien would actually be a lot more powerful. He would probably be a bit more powerful than Goku and Piccolo Jr. in the original, but Gogeta has a power level of almost 1,000,000 by this point, or over 1,000,000 easily, as he's able to use his full strength, being full of age, as he's reached his Saiyan peak in age. He would easily overpower Tien, not much of a problem at all. As once Tien was defeated, he would spare Tien either way, and Tien would then respect him. Now, Chi-Chi was there as well, but Chi-Chi never had a fallen for love thing with Gogeta. The reason for it is because she liked Goku with how goofy he was and childish that he was. Gogeta's a bit more different. He's a blend of the two, so he's very cocky and overconfident a lot. Bulma has actually taken a liking to him, but she keeps it to herself for now. After Gogeta wins the tournament against Tien, a lot of the events would go kinda similar. The only difference here is that Gogeta would never marry Chi-Chi. Now, Gogeta would meet Chi-Chi there, and she would start to fall for him, but Chi-Chi has a bit of a different connection because of the fact that it's not like Goku, but she still likes him, and Bulma likes him too at the same time. Now, as for Gogeta, he's kinda not really worried about a relationship right now, both being the Saiyan traits of Goku and Vegeta. But Gogeta would actually end up getting with Bulma more, because Gogeta has known Bulma for longer, and he feels like she's a closer friend. Now, with Gogeta living with Bulma and marrying her, they would then be together, but Gogeta feels strange, as all this time he has memories and dreams about these odd battles that he would have in his head. Whenever he would sleep at night, he would have strange battles against a lizard-like tyrant and a green creature and even a pink creature. And then he remembers having dreams about fighting this purple cat-like being and stuff, and then all he remembers is a bright flash of light. But he kind of throws that to the side, as he thinks that maybe these are just dreams about opponents that he wishes that he could face. But he thinks it is weird. Bulma even checks on him and states, well, she doesn't really have an explanation. It's probably just some crazy dreams that he has. Since he's a Saiyan, all he thinks about is fighting deep down. Now, would Raditz show up? Yes, because Raditz would still want to see his quote-unquote brother and see how the planet is doing. Since he sees that the planet is not taken over, he would still challenge Gogeta to a fight, or tell him to leave 100 bodies to prove this planet is ripe for the taking. During this time, Gogeta would have a son, and he would still name him Gohan, the same as before. Having a kid with Bulma, this child, let's just say, looks like Trunks, just to make things a lot easier. Or you can say that he calls him Trunks. That's completely up to you. But just for what if and fun purposes, I think there'll be a fun little fight between Gogeta and Bulma about who to name. But I think Bulma would ultimately win, so Trunks will be born and he'll pretty much look the same. Just this version of Trunks is way more powerful than his original self, having Goku and Vegeta as Gogeta, their father. His S cells would be extraordinary. This young version of Trunks, we will speak about it later, over the next 5 years will still be training, but also studying as well. But even with the training that he has, he's already grown into a warrior. He is exponentially powerful, far more powerful than Kid Gohan was. At this version, he would be similar to even Raditz at 5 years old, which is not that far-fetched to look at. Raditz would still show up, as I said previously, and still challenge Gogeta. He would try to take his son for ransom, but this time around, when he tries to take Trunks, Trunks would even hit Raditz back before Gogeta would put an end to him. You guys gotta remember that this version of Gogeta is willing to end his opponents if deemed necessary, as he's not fully compassionate like Goku, who allows people to get away. He has a Vegeta in him, and Vegeta's bloodthirsty killer. He'll kill whoever's in his way if it bothers him. So, because of this, Gogeta would actually kill Raditz when they have a little fight. Though deep down, Raditz did not want to really get killed by Gogeta, but didn't have a choice, and Gogeta didn't really want to kill him. But when he threatened his family, he threatened his son and his wife, Gogeta will end you. After this battle would then commence, Vegeta and Nappa would theoretically never show up because they never heard about the Dragon Balls, so why would they be interested? Now you could argue that when Raditz tried scanning his power level, it would shoot up past 24,000 or 30,000 and it would blow up. They would get the transmission of Raditz saying that, and then it goes blank. That might pique their interest and they would still want to come along and see what's going on. So Nappa and Vegeta, after a bit longer, they make the decision to then go to Earth and see what Raditz was baffling about. Since, of course, Gogeta would never meet King Kai because he doesn't know King Kai, nor would he go to the other world either way. So, none of the Z Fighters died, Gogeta is still alive. So after a year would then pass, Nappa and Vegeta would then show up like the original and destroy a planet. Now, of course, as we know this, that was their main goal, was to kind of rule the planet, maybe destroy it, but it's up to Frieza. Gogeta would not allow this, as Gogeta would then appear very quickly and easily destroy Nappa in their fight, and he would actually spare Vegeta. For some reason deep in his mind, he told himself not to do it, as he doesn't know what it was, but something was telling him to not kill Vegeta no matter what, so he didn't do it. Though Vegeta would still try to kill him, of course, as he would attack Gogeta, throwing a full power Gallic Gun attack at him, which Gogeta would easily smack away with his hand, and he would easily beat down Vegeta and tell him to stop, and that he's won. Vegeta would then go on his space pod, allowing him to escape, and he would then flee Earth, as Nappa was already dead at this point, as he would still continue to try to attack Gogeta, but Gogeta didn't have any second thought about him. Since that Vegeta left, word would then spread around about him easily being defeated, but that wouldn't necessarily catch Frieza's interest, and on top of that, Frieza never heard about the Dragon Balls to begin with, so he would never go to Namek to start. So Namek is actually not being attacked by Frieza, so Namek is okay. As for Gogeta, he does hope maybe Vegeta will come back so they can spar again. As the time would then pass on, more of these memories get worse and worse, as Gogeta does not know what's going on and why they're getting worse. Before Gogeta, in a typical Saiyan fashion, would actually punch himself at full strength, which would jog his memory, as then everything started flooding back in his mind. Everything from Goku and Vegeta's minds would then flood into his head, as he sees all of their history, all the way up until he fought Broly, the legendary Super Saiyan. On planet Earth, when they would spar back and forth going at it, he was in Super Saiyan Blue, their punches and blows were so powerful that it was breaking reality and time. Gogeta accidentally got sucked through time. When they traded blows, he did not go back to Earth. He was sent to a different timeline, a different reality, to where he was born instead of Goku. And then, going back to, of course, the Supreme Kai of Time, she saw this glitch occur. And they fixed it by adding a clone of Gogeta because they couldn't find the original one. So, in that timeline, time kind of fixed itself with her help, as she's almost all powerful at her full strength. So Gogeta is stuck in a timeline that is not his. He's just in a random time loop now. That's not his own. He took a few days alone to process all that he has thought, as he lost everything almost. Chi-Chi, his sons, Gohan, Goten, Trunks, what's up, Trunks, and Bra. They're gone. And Piccolo's gone too. Gogeta realizes this. But he does remember about Namek, and he can help with King Kai, who knows where Namek is. Maybe he can fix things with the Dragon Balls. He can wish things back to the way they were. He also can find Beerus. As Beerus knows about the Super Dragon Balls, they can grant any wish. He can fix any problem that comes along his way. He knows about this. First things first, after remembering all of his forms and techniques, he would then test them out on his body to make sure he can survive. He would go Super Saiyan 1 and Super Saiyan 2. He would transform into a Super Saiyan God and Super Saiyan Blue on top of that. He would also test out his techniques, which he does still have, and he would instant transmission right in front of King Kai, shocking him as he was not expecting this visitor. Gogeta would then explain who he is, what happened, and that, well, he's looking for Namek. King Kai would think this is weird, but can't say no, and he senses that he has a good heart, so he would then tell him the coordinates and where to look for. As Gogeta then remembers where the original planet was located, pre-Goku and Vegeta's memories, he would then use instant transmission and then show up to planet Namek, to where he was actually expecting Frieza to be there so he can knock Frieza out and kill him, but he doesn't really notice Frieza at all, nor is he here, though it's been a few weeks later, and Namek is still there, so he would befriend the Namekians who see he was a good warrior, but the Namekians do have one job for him, to at least earn their trust. And after Elder Guru would then read his memories and even unlock his potential, on top of that, even giving him a little bit more of a power boost, but he's so strong that even that would not greatly change too much, but he's still stronger. Elder Guru would then tell him that if it is true that Frieza could potentially come to our world and destroy all my people, could you go stop Frieza before he even does that? Which Gogeta would agree, no problem, as he can sense Frieza's power, and he'll be right back. He would then use instant transmission and arrive on Frieza's planet, to where Frieza would be surprised to see this random warrior appear in these odd clothing. The Ginyu Force would very quickly attack Goku, and of course Vegeta fused together as Gogeta. Gogeta would very quickly dodge their attacks and easily defeat Guldo, Raccoon, Jace, Birder, and even Captain Ginyu, which would surprise Frieza that he's that powerful, and Frieza would then take the fight to himself. Frieza versus Gogeta, as Gogeta would tell Frieza to hurry up and go to his final form. He knows that he has a fourth form, and even go full power if he wants as well. This would surprise Frieza, who wouldn't listen, as Gogeta would then deliver a 1-inch punch, sending Frieza through his entire palace, destroying it. Frieza would then jump up with torn armor on, and he would then rip it off, going into his final form and continuing the fight, which Gogeta would then easily defeat him, letting Frieza go full power per Goku's Saiyan side. And once when Frieza bulked up to full power, Gogeta would then not hold back and charge up a Kamehameha wave and completely obliterate Frieza. Gogeta also needs to remember where this Saiyan Broly came from, and maybe he'll find him later on. But as for now, he does not need to worry about that, and he would go back to the Namek, as the Namekians would then know that Frieza's gone. They would then grant him the Dragon Balls, as he would use their 3 wishes. He would wish back Kami, which would also wish back Demon King Piccolo, and he would also use the Dragon Balls and try and ask the dragon if maybe he can make Chi-Chi like him, and, make Chi-Chi love him like they used to, if that could work, or maybe they could try to fix everything. But the dragon states that it cannot change time, as it cannot alter things differently. So, with not much else to really think about, he has an idea. Well, he actually uses the Dragon Balls to wish for anybody that Frieza has killed to be brought back to life. This would indirectly bring back the Saiyans as well on planet Vegeta, but Gogeta doesn't know that. He doesn't really think about that. He just thinks it's a good deed, and the last wish can be used for the Namekians themselves, as Goku asks the Namekian dragon to grant Nail, who he knows is there, to grant him and break his potential, which the dragon can. This would make Nail exponentially more powerful, even more powerful than the potentially Frieza. As we know, even the Earth's Dragon Balls put Piccolo's potential way higher. Nail has incredible potential even with training, so I want Nail to get a time to shine. So after leaving, going back to Earth, he has a lot to think about. But his main goal is to use the Super Dragon Balls down in the future and be able to fix this mess. He also realizes why he hasn't unfused yet after 25 years, but that's another side of the story. Now that Gogeta has regained all of his memories and powers back, and he figured out what happened, after course wishing Kami back, he went to handle Demon King Piccolo. Demon King Piccolo would spit out the egg as before, so he knows that Piccolo would still be born, and it would take a few years for him to fully mature. Now, Gogeta knows to fix this, he needs to go find Whis, as Whis is the only smart guy that he knows. Problem is, he doesn't know how to get all the way to Beerus' planet. Maybe, if he goes to King Kai, it might bring him closer. But he doesn't know, and maybe King Kai might know at least an area to look for. So Gogeta would then instant transmission in front of King Kai, jump scaring the heck out of him, and King Kai would be shocked that he would know about Beerus at all. But reluctantly he would, saying that he never told him anything, just to let him know, and tell him the coordinates of where Beerus' place is, as once when Gogeta has a direction to aim at, he would use instant transmission and he would find the latent power that Beerus is sleeping. He would then teleport and be right outside of his home, as he was in the forest. He would then fly right towards his house, and before he could, Whis would then appear right in front of him, stating who he was, and why is he here. Gogeta would then explain himself, maybe he doesn't understand, but Whis kinda understands it, as he senses that he might know him from somewhere, but he doesn't know why. And Whis did realize that he's not a normal being. He seems to be a fusion of some kind, and the fact that he's not exactly mortal. He has God Ki within him. But there's one downside to while they were communicating is Whis was busy resetting his clocks for another 20 years. But now the clocks ran out, and they explode. As this would then awaken Lord Beerus, who was furious as to why he was woken up early and there's this random guy right in front of his house. Whis would try to tell him, but he's afraid that Lord Beerus is way too angry, so Lord Beerus would then fly right in and gut punch Gogeta, sending him through the forest. Beerus was still sleepy though, as he would rub his eye, as he's a very slow waker, as he's very slow to wake up. Gogeta would then jump out of the ground, and this would actually intrigue Lord Beerus a little bit. He survived a powerful punch like that. Gogeta would then transform into a Super Saiyan and surprise Beerus by appearing right in front of him, delivering a powerful blow right to his stomach, sending him back as well. Whis was intrigued. He did not know that this warrior can power up like this, but it's not God Ki. It seems to be a different type of power-up. Beerus was now excited as he started waking up. He would then charge his purple aura, and the two would continue fighting. Beerus would overpower Gogeta, until Gogeta would then transform into a Super Saiyan Blue. Beerus would be shocked to see how this mortal has access to God Ki. That's impossible. What is he? What is this warrior? Gogeta would then gut punch Lord Beerus, sending him right into the air, and he would power up a Stardust Breaker, throwing it right at him, making a massive explosion. Lord Beerus would actually be knocked out. The reason why Lord Beerus lost this fight is because of the fact that he just woke up. Lord Beerus is a very slow, and he's very weak and grumpy when he just wakes up. And the fact that Gogeta is extraordinarily powerful, Lord Beerus underestimated him until he had the Stardust Breaker. Lord Beerus would only be out for a few short moments though, but he would get up and it would actually calm him down. But he would explain to Whis to tell him what's going on before he Hakkai's this mortal. Whis would then explain to him what happened as Beerus understands. Gogeta would then explain more and state everything from his timeline, from when he started to Goku Vegeta's story all the way to when they even met, and all the way until they were fighting Broly. As this was 20 minutes time has passed, Lord Beerus was intrigued, same with Whis, as Whis wonders why the Supreme Kai of Time did not put him back to his original time. That is very strange. And Gogeta would ask Whis, is there any way that you guys can take me to go meet this time creator, whoever she is? And Lord Beerus would actually says, yes, we can. It's called this time patrol area. I've been there multiple times before. And yes, we can go there if that's what you really want. But messing with time is against Zeno's law. But Gogeta would explain that I didn't have a choice. I was forced there. Which Whis would state, well, we need to fix it then before Zeno would find out. So they would then arrive at the Time Patrol headquarters. As we know, it's the same headquarters from Xenoverse 2. A vast open area with tons of warriors to fight. Gogeta would then look around, seeing different Saiyans and different Majins, and people look like Frieza and Namekians. They're everywhere, and they're all different powers. Gogeta was beyond amazed to see these people. As then, they would then meet Trunks, as Gogeta was shocked to see his son was right there in front of them. Trunks would then explain who he is and what happened in his timeline, as Gogeta understands. He would then of course battle Lord Beerus, thanking him for being there, as Beerus states that he might hang around for a little bit, but maybe eat some food, but then he's going to go back to bed. He's exhausted. As Lord Beerus would then leave with Whis, Gogeta would then speak with Trunks and explain who he is, and he's the fusion. Trunks was amazed that such a technique existed. He never seen that before. But theoretically he did. Trunks would then take them up to go see Elder Kai and the Supreme Kai of Time, who was perplexed as to why he's there, as she took him from that timeline and brought him back to his. But for some reason it didn't. And she would be confused as to why. And she would state that it's potentially because of the hiccup that you caused. When you fought Broly, you made a clone of yourself and both went to the same timeline. So once when she took one of you, who was an exact copy, to that timeline back, when you punched again and you went back to the normal timeline. That's the only way possible. So you are the original Gogeta, but your clone, who's the exact representation of you, is there. Or maybe you're the clone. She believes maybe he is probably the clone. You're an exact clone of yourself. You're just a copy. That would be hard to process for Gogeta, as he would have to sit there and contemplate that and says, what can he do? And the Supreme Kai of Time would then tell him that you can stay in that timeline that I put you in. But Gogeta feels like that's not his timeline. That's not where he belongs. As Supreme Kai of Time also wonders why his fusion time hasn't ran out yet. Maybe it's a glitch in the time system that now you're permanently bonded. So she has an idea. She would then state, how about you come work for the Time Patrol? But that is your main timeline that you belong to. I cannot sit there and move you, and we would have to explain this to Zeno, exactly what happened in the Grand Priest. But there's no other choice that I have. Unless she has an idea. She can reverse all of this by putting Goku being born instead of Gogeta, so that timeline will reset itself, if that's what he wants. So then it never would have happened, and there's no issue, and Gogeta will not cease to exist because he's still the clone. So it doesn't matter either way, he sees his own being now. If that's what he truly wants, as Gogeta would actually agree, as he thinks that's what's best for his friends and family, to be a copy timeline. Because I don't want to be a fake or not be there. That's not right to everybody else. So she would do just that, waving her hands and fixing the problem, using her magic, which would be incredible for Gogeta to see. And she would state that any kind of split timelines are fixed, so she was able to fix the problem for him, but in return for his services. And she was actually excited, because having a being as powerful as Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta is a big plus to have. And Gogeta would then try to figure out what all this Time Patrol mumbo-jumbo stuff is. He doesn't even understand. She would explain that, of course, there are parallel missions that you can go do in Quest that can help you train and become stronger. There are also issues with timelines, of course, to when people mess with time, it causes this exact issue. And right now, they're having a problem with Toa. Toa and Deborah are messing with time, corrupting beings, and Gogeta would be a perfect candidate to go with Trunks to go and fight these beings. And Gogeta thinks about it, but he doesn't have a choice anyway, and he would agree upon it. As now, Gogeta is now a time patroller. And that is it for this one. If you guys, thank y'all for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you guys think of this sudden twist, as it's completely different from the story. You guys do not want to miss the next part. It's going to be nuts. And I am recording this on Christmas Day. So I hope that all of you guys who celebrate Christmas, you guys had a fantastic day and a fantastic year. You guys cannot wait until 2024, as I have something very important that I'm going to be telling you guys coming up soon. And I want to hear you guys' opinion about it. Anyway, thank y'all for the support, and I'll talk to you all later.